Hello everyone. In this video, let's take a look on how to create products using code instead of going through the dashboard manual process. So this can be particularly interesting and useful if you are transferring an online store into Django-Oscar. So you could think about exporting that online store to some format, could be JSON, run a for loop on it, and have a similar code to this one. So in this example, we're just learning about how to add a single product. And yeah, link in the description for my blog. And let's start right away. I'm gonna move this to my other window, open VS Code. Going to start by creating a new file in the root of the project named create product. Okay. Going to import from oscar.apps.catalog.models, everything actually. So product, product class, categories, and from oscar.apps.partner models, going to import also everything. So from here we'll get models for the partner and stock and pricing, I believe. Now let's continue. I'm going to define a variable product type. So this is going to be books. Books that, let me show you, will refer to our product type that we have created previously. Okay, so this product type, which in the Django-Oscar models will be referred to as product class. So product class is going to be equal to product class dot objects dot get or create, and I'm gonna use the name product type. All right, now get or create also returns a boolean, so we don't need that. We'll use an underscore for that one. Now we can use a product class to create a product like we would in the dashboard. So let's do that. The product being equal to product dot objects create. You need a title for the product. I'm going to use a new variable. You can name it product title, and then we pass the product class. So product class is going to be equal to product class. All right, let's create this variable, and I'm not going to define it yet. I'll get some book from Goodreads later. You can also already take care of the description. Make it product description. Same thing for the UPC, product.upc. Make it equal to product underscore UPC. And then we can define these variables up here. See, for now, I'm not going to assign any value to them. Let's just leave them as empty. Let me try to do something. Okay, yeah. I'm going to open the exact same file up here or in the side of the window so I can continue seeing the variables. Okay, now this refers more to the product itself. Next, we will be looking into some different parts of the process. So one of them could be categories. Already going to list them in here. What else do we have? Be a partner. So That's something that we also need to create. Attributes. So our product has attributes, pages, weight, the author, the language, the stock, and pricing. In that last, it also has images. All right, let's start now with categories. Let's create a category. Category for this product could be category, object, filter, and let's get that category by the slug because I think we can have more than one category with the same name. So I'm going to make it category underscore slug. We'll get the first entry. Okay. Now, if this category does not exist, we will add it to the root. So category is equal to category dot add root name equal to, let's make another variable category name, and you need also the same slug. So slug equals to category slug. All right, these are another two variables that we will be using. I'm going to put them in here. Category slug, again empty, and category name, again empty. Now category, I forgot here, the column, good. Now we need to add this category to the product. So let's continue with that. Product dot category, categories dot add this category, category. And now I forgot in here to do something important. So product save. Now imagine you want to add more than one category. You can just repeat the codes, and instead of having one category only, you have also category 2. So category 1 and category 2. 1, okay, let's make this 1, 2. So key point from this, you can have, or this is how you add more than one category, or one of the possible ways, at least. Save that. It should be working. Okay, in here, I forgot it. Category 2. Yeah, pay attention to that. Also, have a typo in there. So, category 2, underscore slug. And yes, let's continue. So, that's about it for the categories. It's that simple. Now, the partner, even more simple and pretty similar to how we have created the product class. So I'm even going to copy paste it in here. And instead of product class, I'm gonna have a partner. And instead of product class again, you will get this from partner. Okay. Let's define a variable for the partner. Again, partner is equal to, I'm gonna leave it empty for now. And in here for the name, we can use the partner. Okay. Now let's continue to attributes. Now attributes have one different case, but let's start with the simple part. So let's define this variable attribute to be product attribute dot objects dot get name. Now we pass in the name of the attribute. So I'm gonna make it white for this one. because that's our weight attribute. Okay, so you need to pay attention to upper cases and lower cases in here, or else it won't recognize it. And then we get the product attribute value that objects and creates with it, with the product. So we pass the product, the attribute that we have just defined, attribute equals attribute, and the value of the attribute. So this would be the weight of the product. Now for this one, we will need a new variable. Of course, it's not defined, but I'm gonna make it in here. All right, and I'm already going to create 3 more values for our variables: pages, the language, and the author. Okay, so this is basically the 4 attributes that our product type has. Now let's see again, for the pages and the author, this is going to be very similar. Okay, so similar that I'm going to even duplicate it. Okay, so the only difference in here, it's going to be the attribute value and the name of the attribute. Now I know that one of them is pages and the other author. Let's confirm pages and author, and we have just defined the values previously. I'm going to adjust to them, and for pages, attribute pages. Okay, perfect. Now there's one last case for languages, but in here it's slightly different because it's an option type attribute. So we need to get the option as well. Now this part is going to be the same for the attribute, and can use language again. So language, we're getting it from there. But the option we need to get from attributes that option group options filter, and we will say that the option is equal to our attribute language. Okay, and again, let's get the first example, the first entry. Now it's a matter of adding the option to the product attribute value. It's pretty similar to before. Product attribute, only the last parameter is different. So instead of value, you have value option, and then you can pass the attribute language variable. Okay, and that's it for the attributes. Okay, I wanted to show you the different cases. Now for the stock and pricing, let's see what can we do. And this part we are actually importing from a partner, I believe, from the partner models. We can create a stock record entry. So stock record that objects create, and in here we can pass in some fields. One of them, product, is going to be equal to product. So the product that we have created previously. Then we also need the partner, same logic. The partner SKU, let's define it as partner or product SKU, that's the correct way. The price, so for the price we will use a decimal value later, so let's define it as product price for now, end it with a comma. Now let's take care of the stock. So number in or num in stock is going to be equal to product stock. So are all variables that we still need to define. One last one, low stock threshold is going to be equal to product low stock threshold. Okay, and that with a comma. And let's define these variables. So one in here. Okay. Now this time, these last two, keep in mind that they are integers, not strings. The product price, gonna make it decimal. So we also need to import decimal. And the stock keeping unit, it's going to be a string. Okay, in here, from decimal, import decimal. Save that. One last part for the image. So we can have more than one image. For now, I'm just going to add one image. And we can say if OS path exists, pass in the product image. So product image, it's going to really be a path. I'm already going to create a new variable for the path of the image. And yeah, we can already take care of that. Let's create a new folder in the root of the project. So it's going to be in the same directory as our script. And I will name it product images. So this is where you would have your images. Then I'm going to define this path as product images. And in here, we will need the name of the image. So I'll get an image in some seconds. It's going to be some name. For now, we'll leave it like that. Now, if this path exists, we open the image, product image, to read as F. Then we can create the image. So product image going to be objects, create. It's going to be product. So in here, not with uppercase, product. The original is going to be the file itself. So original file. And you can pass in the file. So F. So there are already some imports that we will need to take care of. Caption, optional, I believe. So we can make it the product title actually. So we don't have that many variables. And you can also take care of the display order. So display order equal to 0. Let's leave it like that. Now, if the image doesn't exist for some reason, let's display some message like image not found. Then we know we need to address that. One last line. So print product successfully created. There are some imports that we need to do. So in here, we need to make it start with the uppercase, and in the product price, instead of just D, use decimal. We need to import OS, and also file. File is coming from Django.core.files, import file. This is it. I'm gonna close this window So I will get a book from Goodreads again. I will put it my other window and just copy paste from Goodreads or borrow from Goodreads. All right, the title. Let's go with it. And product title, product description. Let's use that one. Probably will be using triple quotes. Okay, that should work. Product UPC. Let me look for that in book details and use the ISBN. Good. Now the category and slug. So category 1 name. The slug, we can make it something like computer dash science. And we can use an already existent category. So for the slug, be programming, the name, programming. Partner, I will use the publisher, Addison Wesley. Attribute weight, judging by the number of pages, so 0.7 kilograms. Pages 880. Language, let's make it English. Now the author, it's one problem that we have before. The book really asks two authors. I didn't think about this earlier, so I'll just use one of them. SKU, gonna try to use the same format if I can remember correctly. Book, initials of the author, and initials of the book. So CNATDA, something like that. Really, just for the example. Let's make it 30 euros, a stock of 30, low stock threshold of 5. Now, I already have this image, but let me copy the name. In desktop, let me make sure. Yeah, actually, I didn't have, I guess. So I will just paste it in there and also need to move it to product images. All right. Let's move that image inside and then from here. All right. I think I have everything in line. Let's see if it's working or if it still needs some adjustment. Now, you have you could interrupt your local host in here, or you can open a new command line and go to the project folder. So mine is at desktop, my site. Activate your virtual environment and run the shell. So python manage.py shell. And in here, we will run this script that we have been working on. So you could think about the possibility of running this simply with Python create product.py. I don't think it will work because this somehow needs Oscar to be initialized, Oscar and Django. So by running this command at shell, we can get it correctly. So create product.py, close that, read, and close that again. Let's try that. Argument repeated. All right. Where is this coming from? Line 83. Okay, in here I have messed up. It's a partner SKU, not partner. Let's try that again. Let me see if the store created the book anyway. So dashboard, catalog products. It did not, so let's run that command again. Cannot assign English, must be a attribute option instance. And in here is not the attribute language, but the option. Okay, let me make sure. This time it already created the product, so I'm just going to delete it, or else it won't create anyway, because variables or fields like the UPC must be unique. So make sure you delete before any error. Stock record got unexpected keyword arguments. Okay, so in here, my bad, I forgot about the age. I'm also going to fix the name of the variable. Okay, threshold. There you go. Again, don't forget, delete your product if it failed for you. Let's try one more time. And finally, so product successfully created. Now everything should be correct, but let's check the attributes, categories, attributes, image. We already seen that. And stock and pricing. Well, this is about it. It's for the example. In real case, you would have this script running on a big list. And yeah, let me know if there was something that you would like to still know. You can comment. And yeah, thank you for all the support. Hope it's been useful for you, and bye.